Hello, my loves. Today we're going to talk about money, money, money. And I already know for some of you this is going to feel like a loaded topic. Some of you might even feel a little triggered and maybe think, why is she talking about money on a relationship channel? Why do I even have to listen to her? Isn't love supposed to be above all this? My darling. Let me ask you something. If money wasn't part of love, it wouldn't be one of the biggest reasons marriage break down. Many marriages break down because of money. Money is the thing that can either create freedom, fun, safety, adventure, joy, and expansion inside one marriage. And it can silently destroy intimacy or polarity or respect and peace inside another marriage. So no, this isn't off topic, right? This is one of the most important relationship topics, if at all, in my humble opinion. And I want to start with a truth most women are afraid to say out aloud. All right? Like, show me a woman who says she doesn't want her man spending money on her at all. And I'll show you a woman who has probably been conditioned to survive instead of receive and enjoy. Because wanting provision, my darling, isn't weak, right? Wanting provision isn't gold digging. Wanting provision is often the nervous system saying, I want to feel held. I want to feel safe. I want to feel protected. I want to feel adored. I want to feel like I can relax, right? And yes, before you twist my words, of course, women can make their own money. I love that for us. I want more women millionaires. I want more women billionaires. But this conversation isn't about what you can do. It's about what keeps love and polarity healthy while you do it, right? And if you're wondering if you should listen to me, I don't usually. I feel a little nervous and concerned about speaking about my personal finances publicly because I do value my privacy. But I'll say this: my husband and I together, we are multimillionaires today. And what I'm sharing today isn't theory. It's what I've watched play out in real life, in my life, inside relationships, inside marriages, and inside the feminine nervous system. So if you're new to the Apsara Academy, this is where we embody real love, soul level healing, and unshakable feminine power. So I hope you have your cup of drink and let's go there, shall we? Let's get something straight right away. See, money is not good. Money is not evil. Money holds a neutral energy. It's the most practically speaking, money is simply a system that we use as the human collective as a system for exchanging value, right? Exchanging goods, services, time, skill. That's it in a very practical sense. So why does money feel so emotionally loaded for so many of us women? This is why, darling. Because money, right? It doesn't arrive into our lives as a neutral thing, as simply numbers in your bank account. Trust me, it holds so much more frequency and energies and meaning for you, consciously or unconsciously. It holds a lot of memories, good memories, bad memories. It can also hold a story that we absorbed long before we even had a bank account. So for many women, especially as soft-hearted, spiritual or relationship-oriented women, there's a very common subconscious subconscious script that runs underneath the surface, right? could sound like money corrupts people, or rich people are bad and evil or greedy, or if I have too much, I'll become bad, or this is the storyline that I had running. Or if I had too much, my life will become complicated and I will not be able to handle my life and I'll have too many responsibilities, right? Or if I receive too much, I'll be judged. Or if I want a man to provide for me, I'm not empowered. See, there is a pattern of avoidance or anxiety or fear that many women today feel when it comes to money. Few of the most common pattern, right? Money avoidance patterns, like belief systems, might be like money is bad, money is evil, it's the root of evil, rich people don't deserve all this money, why do people need all this money, right? So it's not just you. This is a pattern in the collective consciousness of the feminine. I personally had attracted a whole lot of insecurities around money myself, right? And in my lifetime, I used to have a lot of sabotaging, low frequency, low vibrational storylines and belief systems around money. Some I was consciously aware of, most of them I wasn't even consciously aware of, darling. Right? For example, I hold one of a core wounding of around money, which has got to do with mistrust with the masculine when it comes to money, right? So a lot of women, right, are socialized to believe that sometimes like earning money is equal to suffering, right? That money must be deserved through work, hard work, exhaustion, self-sacrifice, overworking, improving and providing. And that sort of a belief system would make receiving support and provisions and gifts from the masculine or the universe at large around you, it will make you feel off, right? You will feel off about it, or you will feel suspicious about it. You will not trust it. You will not be at ease and flow and in alignment with, right? And because of which you might resist it, and because of which it might not manifest in your life. But think about this, darling. If money was inherently evil, then feeding your child would be evil, right? Paying for your mother's medical care would be evil, right? Donating millions of dollars would be evil, right? Building a beautiful dream, safe home for yourself and your family would be evil, right? Funding your various beautiful adventures and dreams would be evil, right? No, my darling. Money isn't evil, right? What becomes distorted is this. The relationship someone has with money, especially if money becomes their only identity and their mode of control or domination and whatnot, that is what makes money low vibration. So the truth is simple, darling. Money is a mere mirror, right? It already amplifies what's already inside of you. So, for example, what do I mean by that? If a person is generous, money would just make them more generous. If a person is creative and artistic, money would just make them more creative and artistic, because now they will have much more opportunities and ventures that they can try out, right? On the contrast, if a person is controlling, money would give them more tools to control, right? Another example, on the other side of the spectrum, if a person is anchored in God, in divinity, in the universe, in values and integrity, money would become a bigger force for good in their hands. So, see, another thing, right? If a person is hollow and void and empty and hungry from that space, money would just become an addiction for them. It will feed that void and that hunger more. So that's why you'll meet poor people who might be cruel and rich people who are super kind and generous. You might meet wealthy narcissists, or you might meet wealthy saints, because money doesn't create character, darling. It just reveals it. Okay. Now, I have a small journal prompt for you. Now, this video, this masterclass on money, the energetics of money, is going to be a 2 or 3 part series. I'm just going to go with the flow. And the first part would be freely available on my YouTube channel forever, for eternity, for all of you to enjoy and absorb and listen to my transmissions. But in the near future, part 2 and part 3 would live inside a paid membership container, because that's where I will be giving you a lot more suggestions. That's where we will dive really deep into embodiment work around money energetics, right? Like what I'm going to share with you right now with a few journal prompts. So part 2 and part 3 will be heavily embodiment oriented, lot more real life examples. I'll get quite personal with you on part 2 and part 3 of this masterclass. So don't forget, if you like content like this, if you like my vibe, don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Every little thing counts, my darling. Okay, because today, honestly, we live in a world where information is cheap, content is cheap. However, embodiment will always carry its value and will increase in its value in the kind of world that we are entering, the Aquarian era. Embodiment is where where it's all going to be at. Right? So in my humble opinion, if I'm talking about money, it's because I've personally walked a certain journey with money, and I'm consciously working with the energetics of money. And in my channel, when we talk about money, it's not going to be the masculine aspects of money, honey. Okay, money, honey, I love that. We're going to dive deeper into the feminine aspects of money. We're talking money mindsets here. We're talking about manifestation. We're talking about spiritual aspects of money here. Okay. I will never get into the nitty-gritties of how you got to make money, or, you know what I'm saying, the logistics behind it. No, that's not what we are about here. I will be getting into the feminine aspects of money in my channel. And it'll all be saved under the playlist called Money, Money, Money Forever. At least all the free content. So feel free to binge watch when it's the right time for you, whenever you are watching. Right now, I'm making this video beginning of 2026. Happy New Year, all of you. Happy New Year, my darlings. I hope this year has started off on a good note, and I really hope that this year is your best year yet, honey. All right, let's I digress there for a bit. Let's get back. So what do I mean by embodiment work? All right, me sharing my transmissions, me talking, me giving you information and knowledge, that's not where the magic is in, darling. The magic does not lie with me, darling. The magic lies in you, in your awareness, all right, in your internal world. That's where the shifts will happen. Your awareness is the beautiful thing that will take you into make those changes in you. If you have clicked on this video, there is a reason why you've clicked on this video. And it's not about me talking. It's not about, of course, I bring embodiment. I bring a certain energy and vibe which will open up doors and open up portals for you, of course, without a shadow of doubt. I believe that very strongly. I know that my energy will shift your energy, because as women, we are all collective links in a chain. So, of course, the frequency that I share and transmit here 100% will affect you for the positive. But however, this is the truth. I don't know if the coaches and the mentors online say this, but this is the truth. The real, actual alchemy, the magic, the shifts and the changes does not lie with me. It lies with you. You doing the inner work. You sitting down and writing the answers for these journal prompts, for example. You actually sitting and doing the meditation or the breath work or some sort of somatic practice that I walk you through. Right? You doing that affirmation. You working on, you bringing more awareness inside your internal world, your inner field, and shifting things moment by moment. That is where the magic lies, darling. Not in me. All right? I'm just the vessel. I'm just a channel. One season of your life, I might come, and another season of your life, I might not even be there. But you are the main character in your life, and your best mentor, your best teacher, your best therapist is already within you. All right? I'm just the frequency that's vibrating at a certain, I'm just the energy that's vibrating at a certain frequency that will help you vibrate at a similar frequency for just temporarily. Okay, if you don't do this work. But if you catch on to this work and you do the inner work, you do the healing work, you don't need me. And that's my deepest desire for everybody who watches my content online, okay? To reach a place where you just don't need me. You might just check in to just enjoy similar frequencies, and I want you to become bigger, better, deca-millionaires and billionaires even, right? That's my honest, truest wish for you, my darling. Okay. All right, so if you have your journal, take that out because I have a couple of journal prompts for you. So I'll give you a moment. Go grab your journal. Go grab that pen of yours and come back when you're ready. And I don't want you to answer this from your head. Of course, if you want to vent, if you want to riff, and you want to bring a lot of things out from your conscious part of the thinking part of your brain, go ahead, do it. But I would love for you to check into your emotions, your feelings, into your body, and answer from that space, your feeling space, right? Your sensations in your body space. So, for example, okay, you know what I'm talking about. If you're attracted, and if my channel came by your field, you know what I'm talking about. All right, my darling. The first question, right? Write this down. When I imagine having a lot of money, what emotion rises first? Right? I'll just give you list out a few emotions to help you start off on your journaling. Is it fear? Imagine like you being, what is the kind of amount of money? Like bring an amount in your mind, all right? For some it could be 1 million, 500,000. For some it could be 50 million. For some it could be 1 billion. Whatever it is, that seems like a fantastical, which seems like a lot of money for you, right? Imagine you actually having it in your life, all right? What does it bring out? Fear? Guilt? Or is it relief? Or is it excitement? Or is it shame? Journal on it, darling. And if I'm sniffling, I'm sorry, I'm just recovering from a cold, a flu, so bear my sniffles, darling. Second question to journal on. Right. What did I learn about rich people when I was a little girl? Who or what taught me this directly or indirectly? Okay? Dive as deep as you can with this question. Pause the video if you need to and come back later. The third question. If money as energy was fully neutral, what will I finally allow myself to have, to want, to desire? More rest, more health, more support, more freedom, more provision, more adventures. Right? And the last question, very, very potent question. Who would I become if receiving felt safe in my heart and in my body? When receiving from men feels safe, when receiving from the universe at large was safe. Okay, I hope you got these 4 journal prompts. Go as deep as you can with it, darling. Like I told you, this is where the magic lies. This is where the alchemy happens. This is where this beautiful self-awareness starts. Okay? Right. Now, the second thought that I want to get into now is the energetics of money. All right? This is what this masterclass is about. Now, I see money as an energetic spectrum. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I love spectrums. I'm all about spectrums. I truly believe this world as we know it is about spectrums, all right? So money, to me, the way I see it, is an energetic spectrum, okay? So let's take it one layer deeper. Money is not just a number in your bank account. Okay, money is energy, as is everything in this world, which has a certain frequency, which has a certain vibration. And this frequency or vibration gets attracted to certain frequencies and vibrations and feels resisted by or runs away from certain frequencies and vibrations. Money is energy. And like all energy, it exists in a spectrum. Okay? Like as a scale, right? As a continuum that you move along, right? Back and forth, and you progress through in your life. So on one end of the spectrum, we have what I call the hard money. This is the masculine coded money. All right? For example, hard money is money that comes from like real exchanges, right? You exchanging your time to get that money. You exchanging your presence to get that money. You exchanging your efforts. You exchanging your skills, your education. You exchanging your discipline, structure, consistency, hard work, labor, right? So this hard money, all right, which is coded with masculine energy, is the money that you earn by doing something. Like you have to show up, you have to clock in, you have to perform, you have to produce, you have to deliver. All right? Some examples. What are the examples that gives you like hard money? All right? Coded with the masculine codes. What are the examples that comes to you? Job, right? Salaries. Would you get a salary end of the month if you do not show up, if you do not exchange your time and presence in your office? If you don't get your work done, right? If you don't have certain skills or certain education or certain experience, would you even have gotten that job? Right? So salaries or some sort of a fee, right? Basically, my love, we're talking about the hustle, the grind, right? The effort in exchange for the income. So this is the bossing it up vibe, right? The hustle and the grind, the hard work, the labor, the efforting. Now, there is nothing, by the way, darling, there is nothing wrong with hard money, especially as a beautiful chica tuning in. If you're in your 20s and the 30s, it's totally okay. In fact, it's often how many women begin their financial journey. So there's no harm, no blame, no shame, no judgments around it. But stay with me here, right? On the other side, the opposite end of the spectrum is what I call soft money. This is the feminine energy coded money. Now, soft money could flow through inheritances, for example, right? Or assets that keep appreciating in value without you doing anything. Leveraged income of some sorts, right? Royalty, for example, right? Let's imagine like examples like you're a, see in part 2, part 3, I will dive deeper into examples, but right now what comes to mind is if you're a singer, songwriter, right? You do a work, you write a song, you work on a project once. However, let's say 10 years, 20 years later, if someone is clicking and enjoying your creation, your art, some money goes to your bank account, right? So that's royalty income. So soft money, that's coded with feminine energy, we're basically talking about your passive income, right? What the world calls passive income, residual income, right? Money that continues to flow in without you efforting, without your constant presence, without you working for it, without you exchanging anything for it. You might have exchanged something in the initial stages, but after a while you don't have to, right? This is money that comes from positioning yourself sometimes, all right? Not pushing, not working, right? Just being, positioning yourself and just being there. Maybe managing it here and there. So, soft money is money that keeps coming in, is part of the circulation, all right? Remember this word circulation, all right? When it comes to money, this is one of a coded thing about money. It needs to be in circulation. So that's for another video. So don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button, darling. So every time I drop in a transmission, you are notified, okay? I'm excited because I love money. I've manifested quite a lot in my life on my own, as well as with my husband in my marriage. And we have an exciting financial future together as a married couple. So we're manifesting so much more as well. So I feel I've reached a certain mastery when it comes to money. And I'm going to share it with you here for free. Right? So, yeah, money, one of the codes of money is that it needs to be in circulation. It needs to be moving. It needs to keep moving. So, when we're talking about soft money, this is the money that keeps in its own circulation, in its own movement, even when you're resting. All right? It hits your bank account even while you're sleeping. It works for you. You don't have to work for it, right? It works for you. So here's the key distinction, right, that I feel most women were never taught. This is the difference, right? Hard money keeps you in the efforting masculine energy mode. Soft money restores you and plonks you and locks you into the feminine energetics, feminine aligned flow, right? So let me connect this directly to something the vocabulary of Apsara teachings. If you've been with me any stretch of time, you know we talk about aligned flow, right? We talk about, see, when a woman is anchored in the aligned flow of the universe itself, it's flowing through her, and she's like a vessel, and she's animating, and it's just flowing through her. So when a woman lives in this feminine energetic mode and in her flow that I call the aligned flow state in the Apsara teachings, she is connected to her true north, right? She is connected to her highest self. She's connected to her highest timeline, which is along her soul path, right? So when a woman is anchored to this true north space, her nervous system will feel safe. Nothing is perfect in life. Of course, everything has its ups and downs, all right? The ebbs and flows of life, the law of rhythm. I'm not talking about that. But overall, her nervous system will feel safe. Her body will know very quickly how to soften and relax, right? Because her receiving channels are open. She has chosen good, high quality masculine energies to be open to and to receive from, and she's open to divine masculine principle itself in the universe, right? Now, on the other hand, when a woman is locked in and she lives only from the hard money end of the spectrum, right? Year after year, decade after decade, something happens, darling. See, she might become successful doing that, especially if she has a very strong masculine energy in her charts, for example, right? She might even become tremendously successful. She might be very resourceful, very capable. She might even seem very impressive, right? But we're talking about her internal world now. Because at this state, right, her body, her nervous system, her physiology has quietly forgotten how to receive. So this is when, right, the reality split begins for her. Externally, she might look very powerful because masculine energy is a powerful energy. But internally, she'll be bracing herself, edgy, hard, right? Externally, she could be like, oh my God, handling everything. But internally, her systems, her field would be saying, when do I get to rest? When will someone else hold all the weight in my life? When do I get to soften? So it might even feel like for me, right, when I was predominantly working on my masculine energies, with my masculine energies day in and day out, for decades in my 20s and my 30s, every victory, I experienced many victories in my life. As a masculine woman would, naturally. She's working with her masculine energy after all. It's a goal-oriented energy. It's a very focused energy. It's an achievement-oriented energy. So, of course, she'll be enjoying a lot of victories, like I did in my 20s and 30s. However, my darling, this is the truth. After I won a victory, it felt empty. Of course, I'm not talking about the contrast of neutrality that you might feel, or normality that you might feel if you've been actively manifesting something. I'm not talking about those vibes here. I'm talking about, I literally used to cry. I used to feel empty and numb after many of my victories because they just felt empty. Because it was not from the aligned flow true north space. I was only operating on one aspect of me. I had not embodied, I had not brought in, I had not embraced the feminine aspects of me. So all my victories felt empty. So this is what so many high-achieving women struggle with, darling. Okay, whether they share it with you or not, whether you're aware of it or not. They might struggle with receiving support from men, receiving support from the men in their own lives, right? They might resist them. They might not know how to let a partner provide for them. They might not be able to trust with ease, right? This is something that I still work with, even today in my life. I have no shame in accepting that. I'm a work in progress, right? So this is, give me a moment. Right. So they might have problems like relaxing into their relationship with their own husbands, right? So this is not about being too strong or anything like that, darling. Okay? It's because their nervous system and their entire field has been trained, and it's locked in, and it's trained to just be in the survival mode inside the hard money side of the money energetic spectrum. Does this land? Let me know in the comment section. Drop in a money bag. All right, drop in a money bag if this lands. I forgot to wear this. Sorry. I don't know if you heard that. I'm going to continue anyway. So, yeah, so the masculinized woman, like working predominantly for decades, right, in the hard money spectrum, her entire field might get wired for that hard money survival space if she stays in it for too long. Okay? So, see, this is what I want to be very clear about, my love. How do I put this? See, hard money and living there is not wrong. That's not the problem. Don't misunderstand me. I was there, okay? And I'm super proud of myself. I got so much shit done. I achieved so many things because I did it, okay? So that's not the problem. The problem is living in that space permanently. That's the problem, my darling. If it lands, drop in a money bag. So yeah, living there permanently, and her life, her future, right? Her retirement and everything becoming about that. Now that is a huge problem. I would say 20s, maximum early 30s, predominantly working from that space is okay. But by the time you reach your 30s, mid-30s onwards, you got to slowly, strategically learn and figure out how to move to the soft money side of the spectrum, darling. Okay, this is something we will dive much deeper into in terms of suggestions, ideas, stuff that I've done in my life, stuff that I've seen very, very accomplished people around me do in their lives. All right. And I'm in my feminine energy in my marriage. So stuff that I do in my marriage to make sure that I'm in this side of the spectrum, right? All this is something that I will get into in detail, all right, in part 2, part 3 of this masterclass. So don't forget to hit the notification button, darling. And I know, right, I see my YouTube algorithms. So many of you beautiful souls tuning in, darling. I can see the numbers. Like, it's crazy how many of you share my videos, and I thank you deeply and I appreciate it so much. All right, I really feel the community is being built by women like you, like who think about that one friend, that sister, that relative who you feel might find value in this content, and you're just sharing it with them. I can see the numbers. Numbers don't lie, right? Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate you for it. And it shows me, it really shows me what kind of souls are getting attracted to me. And I love that. I love that because I'm the same way as well. All right. So what were we talking about? So hard money should not be the permanent state in your life, darling, right? Hard money could be a phase. It could be an option that you might want to get into it if you feel like it, right? Soft money is the destination. Soft money has to be your normal day-to-day life, all right? So, see, the feminine was never meant to live her entire life exchanging her time, energy, labor, her presence, her bossing it all the time for survival, right? She was meant to live in aligned flow. That's where the magic lies. That's where the magic will be manifested in all areas of her life. Again, I'm not talking about perfection. Right. So now don't get me wrong here, darling. This doesn't mean I'm asking you to quit working tomorrow. It means you begin to reorient your financial life towards soft money, slowly, intelligently, strategically. So I want to ask you something. No judgments here, all right? Remember, where does all the magic lie? It lies in you knowing yourself deeply. It lies in your awareness, in your connection with the divine. So, I'm going to ask you a question. Where do you currently live on the spectrum? Do you live in the hard money spectrum? No judgments, no blame, no shame, don't start feeling all sorts of ways here. It's just for beautiful awareness. Do you live here or do you live here? Let me know. If you feel called to, share it with me in the comments. I would love to read about whatever you share. All right? Whatever you're called to share. So, are you living mostly in the hard money right now? Or mostly, hard money? Or are you living mostly in the soft money? Or are you somewhere in between? I will always suggest somewhere in between. You know me. Nope. If you think, this channel is about feminine energy and the soft life, and you gotta live all the time in your soft life, hey, God has given you masculine energy as well, right? So, I'm a huge proponent of living somewhere in the center. Ideally, I would want every woman in the world to be living on this side of the spectrum, but not fully 100% on one extreme or the other, right? All right, my darlings. I hope this content landed. I knew I was going to be talking about money, but honestly, I'm a very private person, okay? And there's a reason behind why I haven't shown up for so long. As you know, if you are tuning in, we had picked up the momentum. We had picked up subscriberships. The momentum, the algorithm was like working crazy for us, and we were nearing 1,000. And guess what? Okay, I'm not perfect. Here I am confessing the fact that I'm not a perfect human being, right? Guess what happened? Now, my fear of visibility turned up. My fear of success turned up. All sorts of stuff came up for me, and I just needed some time off to work through all of that. So that's the reason why there's been a huge gap. But having said that, I've also been on a creative journey. I've created something so beautiful for all of you, and I will soon come and share that with all of you. All right. So if you like my vibe, if you like content like this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. So I think I digressed there for a minute. So let me know in the comment section, darling, right? Where do you currently live in the spectrum? All right, just notice it, right? No judgments, no shame, no blame. Just bring your beautiful awareness to it. Just name it. Eleandra, I'm in the hard money spectrum. Eleandra, I find myself in the soft money spectrum. Eleandra, I'm somewhere in between, 50-50. Oh, I'm somewhere here, 75-25. All right, wherever, let me know. So, like I mentioned in part 2, future videos which will in the near future be locked into the membership community. I will be dropping real life suggestions, my personal situation, because for me, like, sharing all of my private affairs out here in such a in such a public forum, trust me, it hasn't been easy for me. Honestly, it's been a journey. I have this whole thing with visibility is something that I battle with. For some of you newcomers, I don't know if you know my life story. I'm a diagnosed complex post-traumatic stress disorder person. I've been in therapy for many years of my life. I'm a survivor of FSA, family scapegoat abuse, for those of you who are not aware of FSA, which led to, I mean, jokingly, I say the first 20 years of my life has been the toxic, abusive, terrible phase of my life, very sad, painful. And Since then, it's been a different journey, of course. So, um, see, visibility is something that I don't want to lie to you beauties who are tuning into my field and who have subscribed and who like my vibe and who have commented and who have sent me emails. I love you all. I see you all. But see, I want to also be honest. This is not easy for me, okay? Though I have a lot of stuff. I'm a woman of a certain age. For those of you newbies, I'm 48, soon to be 49. So I've lived a life. I've seriously lived a life. I've not just theoretically, right? I have experienced a lot of shit in my life. But today I find myself in such a peaceful, blissful, happy, divine union with my husband. We have 2 sons. I'm a stepmother for 2 sons. My husband is a widower, and then we got together and we have 2 stepsons and 2 fur babies. So, and we live in peace and harmony, joy and excitement and fun and passion, and it's healthy. It's a healthy union, you know, which is something that I've never experienced in my life before my husband. So I've manifested love into my life. My husband and I together, like I said, because it's a money related video, we're multi-millionaires today and growing. So I've manifested love, healthy love. I've manifested money and growing. We'll be manifesting much, much more. And health is something that I'm actively working on at the moment. And so that's not something I want to talk about, because I feel I haven't, nothing wrong. I mean, maybe I will share my journey with you. Let me know in the comments if you want me to just share my journeys with you when it comes to health. Relationship with my body is something that I've fully healed, but relationship with food is something that I'm actively working on, especially this year, 2026. So, so this is me today. This is me today. A beautiful life, a life that I dreamt of and prayed for, just, you know, some years back. Is my normal day-to-day reality today. So, but yeah, I go through my own ups and downs. There was just in the recent past, a year back, I used to suffer with complex post-traumatic stress, emotional flashbacks on a day-to-day basis. There have been times in my life when I could not move, I could not get out of my bed. Right? When I've never said this before, but I've had moments of, you know, calling it quits, just moments. So, darling, I've been there, okay? And I want you to know that. And yes, coming back, there is a real fear of visibility that I work with this particular venture of mine, with Apsara Academy work, because it's a public work. That is the reason why once, you know, I disappeared when we were nearing 1,000 subscribers. I disappeared, darling. It brought out a lot of things out. I self-sabotaged myself. I sabotaged the growth and the momentum that I had built, and no shame, nothing, you know, I'm totally fine sharing it. I'm totally okay with it. It is what it is. I'm glad this work brought all this stuff up for me. And yes, visibility is something that I work on. I also happen to be a very, very sensitive soul, okay? Very soft heart. So, it's not easy. It's not easy for us. I need to figure it out, okay? It's not easy, but I know I'll figure it out. And it is what it is. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, so that was a whole break. A lot of stuff came up. I self-sabotaged myself, but I'm back here. I'm back here for you guys, for the Feminine Collective. This is my labor of love for you. So yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I don't make any money out of my work here. All the efforts that I put in my channel, I don't make money yet. Everything is fully self funded. So any little support that you give me, your little likes, your shares, your subscriptions, everything will help spread this word. And I truly believe in this work. I truly believe that this message has to reach as many women as possible. So yeah, once YouTube algorithm, I don't know, is 1,000 videos? Let me know in the comments. I don't know, darling. Is it 1,000, 2,000, 5,000? I don't know. Somewhere in the near future, this paid content space in my channel will open up for me. And once that is done, the part 2 of this video, part 3 of this video, if at all, will be in there. So for now, it's free. Right, so enjoy it and learn from it. Make sure you do the work, because soon it might not be free. Right, you might have to pay for it. So okay, I want to end this video on a final thought. Okay, one thing comes up for me is this: the conditioning that women have been through when it comes to money. And this is where it might get really real for you, my darling. This is where it might get deep, okay? Let's talk about women and our conditioning when it comes to money. Because this is not just about finances, darling, okay? This is also about your identity. This is also about your nervous system safety. This is about how the feminine adapted to surviving in a world that didn't always protect her, that didn't always have her best intentions for her. See, in the Apsara teachings, in my channel, in this work, we speak about the wounded feminine spectrum, and most women don't realize that they're operating from one end of the spectrum or the other until their body or health or life problems and repeating patterns and exhaustion shows that to them, right? So in the Apsara teachings, I talk about the masculinized feminine. I talk about the wounded feminine spectrum, the masculinized feminine, one end of the spectrum, and the collapsed feminine in the other end of the spectrum, right? So who is the masculinized feminine? She is the woman who says, I used to be her, okay? I don't need anybody, right? I don't trust anybody 100%. I can do this myself. I am the one who can actually do this better, right? I trust myself more than I can trust anybody, especially men, right? I'd rather struggle alone than feel disappointed with another person, right? So the masculinized woman, she's capable, right? She's competent, she's resourceful, she's often very successful. But underneath that strength, there is usually a woman who has learned very early in her life that depending was dangerous, was not safe. So for her, money might have become her armor. Like independence might have become her identity, and controlling the people around her, circumstances, situations around her might be how she even feels safe in this world, right? So while this posture, right, while this positioning might look very powerful, especially in the world that we live in, which is very masculine, this posture might make her look powerful from the outside, all right? But her inner world, what her body goes through, what her emotions, what her heart, what her psyche, what her hormones, what her health goes through is often a completely contrasting story altogether, all right? Because she's always guarded, all right? And in the external world, she always has to be on, right? Go, 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 go. The Tony Robbins energy, like I call it, right? So in the external, she needs to be a Tony Robinson energy vibe, and internally she'll be guarded. So It's hard. Right? On the other side of the spectrum, the collapsed feminine spectrum that we talk about, right? When it comes to the wounded feminine spectrum, this is a woman who says, oh my God, I just cannot survive on my own. I desperately need someone to save me. I can't figure things out on my own. And if he leaves me, I'm finished. I'm done. It's over. And her relationship when it comes to money, right, is often filled with a lot of fear. A fear of abandonment, a fear of instability, a fear of being left with nothing, right? So, and she may hand over her power, her financial power, to the people around her, excuse me, hoping that her financial safety will come from someone else outside of her. So neither of these extremes is freedom, darling. Neither of these extremes is what I call financial freedom. Both are survival strategies. And then in the center of the spectrum, we have the Holy Grail woman, right? The Apsara archetype that I teach you guys. She is interdependent. She is sovereign, all right? She's fully herself, she's sovereign, and she's open and receptive. So she can generate money. She understands money. She's not afraid of money. But she also knows how to receive money from the masculine principle around her, from the masculine principles in the world. All right? She knows, she allows support. She allows provision. She allows ease without feeling guilty. All right? She does not confuse independence with like what I'm trying to, like, see, the Holy Grail woman in the center, she is sovereign. She's not independent. She's not overly dependent. She's interdependent. She's healed both sides of her wounds. The wound of over-functioning, right? And the wound of under-functioning. So, this is where I want you to just get real with yourself, right? Go inward, darling, and ask yourself these questions. Not just hear me talking here. Independence, right, is not empowerment as the world has programmed you to believe. If it's costing you your softness, your femininity, your feminine aligned flow, it is not empowerment. I want that to land. See, because true empowerment, right, it should not harden you. True empowerment does not shut down you receiving from the world and your man. True empowerment should not be disconnecting you from your body. Right? True empowerment allows you to stand tall and stay open. To be capable and held. To be sovereign and supported. Right? I hope that landed. So, my darling, so this is not about choosing strength or softness, right? It is choosing wholeness. That's what the Aquarian era is all about, and that we've already entered. So I want you to quietly notice, right? Go within, do the work. Where do you recognize yourself on this spectrum right now? No judgments, just awareness. Because awareness is where the Holy Grail woman's codes begin. Right. All right, my love. Let's recap, right? Let's quickly recap. Part 1 of this video, what do we talk about? Let me know in the comments. Recap with me. Pause and just recap. All right. So we talked about money as neutral energy. We explored money as an energetic spectrum. It had the hard money end of the spectrum. It had the soft money end of the spectrum. Then we named the wounded feminine spectrum, the masculinized woman, and how she works with money, and the collapsed feminine, and how she works with money, and the holy grail woman who stands in the center, sovereign and receptive. Okay, so my darling, if something landed deeply for you, if you related, if something stirred in you, right, if you felt seen, if you felt slightly uncomfortable in a good way, right, that's not coincidence, my love. That's your soul's awareness being activated. Listen up, darling. See, awareness alone doesn't rewire our nervous system, right? Embodiment does. Energetic work, action, right, both is what creates embodiment. So the inner work and the action work around it, aligned action work around it, is where embodiment happens. So the next part of this video, the continuation of this masterclass, is all about embodiment of everything that I spoke, and we'll be diving so much more deeper when it comes to the energetics of money. In the next parts of this teaching, we'll move beyond the cognitive understanding of the energetics of money into integration, right? We'll work with money and it feeling, money and safety in your body, right? Receiving without guilt, like dissolving the strong woman armor that the masculinized women wear. Reconditioning your nervous system to allow support, to allow provisions, to allow ease. So these deeper embodiment, practices and transmissions, I'm really excited for part 2 and part 3 of this masterclass. The meditations, the journal work, the inner rewiring work, right? All this will soon, like I mentioned, in the near future, once our subscriptions come up, a lot more souls come into my field, come into this work. All these, the part 2, part 3 will all live inside the paid membership community as soon as it opens up for me. So yeah, it's free for now, so enjoy it. All right, I want you to be very honest, not with me, darling. Be honest with you. All right. Do the work. Do the work. All right. These transmissions are not just casual content, right? This is the sacred work. So there's the kind of work women usually pay hundreds and thousands for. All right. That's the kind of work I'm giving it to you for free. Will not be free soon. And because this kind of work, right, it also should not be given out for free, in my opinion, because they're really potent, really coded from an embodied space. So it needs to be protected, and it needs to be housed and protected in a paid container where there is a monetary and energetic exchange to enjoy that content, right? So while it's still free, available here, take it seriously, darling. Just because it's free, don't take it lightly. All right, do the work. Journal. When I invite you to journal, sit with the discomfort instead of scrolling away from it. All right, take a break, pause, but come back where you paused. Because, darling, this is the truth. The woman who does this work, all right, are the women whose lives actually change. So if this landed for you, please support this channel in every little real way. Like this video, subscribe to the Apsara Academy, share this with a woman who needs to hear this. We are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, my very first 1,000 subscribers. And every single one of you matter deeply to me, darling, all right? My own upper limit triggers, my deep fears around visibility, yes, caused me to halt the massive momentum that we were on with YouTube algorithm. Well, we'll dive deeper into all of that in another video. Let me leave you with this. We'll end with this. My beauty, wherever you're tuning in from, right? You are not here to struggle or survive and struggle for money. You're here to experience being held by life, and that includes money. Yeah? I love you, my beauties. Hit the notification button so you are notified as soon as the part 2 of this masterclass drops. You will not want to miss it, trust me. The deeper embodiment work is in there and it's coming. Love you all. Bye.